You are listening to the Real Estate Blind Bid Provocateurs, a podcast taking a bold stand against the opaque and frustrating process of blind bids in residential real estate. Blind bids have long plagued real estate with uncertainty, mistrust, and manipulation with the truth. This podcast is a production of True Home Value, the pioneers of transparent open bidding, where every detail of every offer is available to every buyer. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Bid Provocateurs. I am James Clark, here with my co-host, KieAnn Brownell.
Hey, James.
Hey, KieAnn, great to catch up with you again. All right, so we're going through your article that you have written called The 7 Ways Agents Lie with the Truth. We're on number 3. We've got a backup offer in hand. So let's jump into that. Tell me more.
Okay, this typically arises during the negotiation phase of, say, the inspection objection or the inspection items. And what will happen is the listing agent will say, we do have a backup offer in hand, and giving the underlying impression, we're not really interested in fixing anything for you, and we'll just go with this backup offer, and you guys can go pound sand, so to speak. That's not exactly what they say, but that's what they're implying. How they're lying with the truth is they may have a backup offer, but it's probably their best interest to stick with the current buyers if they can, because if they have to terminate and then take over with the backup offer, it's going to delay the whole sales process, starting over, etc. And there's nothing to say that the backup offer then won't create the same inspection problems. But what it does to the buyers is here we go again, it creates that sense of urgency, that sense of helplessness that, oh my gosh, they have a backup offer. If I want the house, I'm probably going to have to accept it as is. I'm not going to be able to get the repairs made that I wanted to have. One of the things that I always say to my clients when they're saying, can we put in a backup offer, is I say, I don't like that. I think it's a bad situation for a buyer to go into a backup situation, because basically what you're doing is you're giving the seller an insurance policy. You're basically helping them ensure that their current deal gets done. So I always discourage my clients from putting in backup offers unless I have some insight that the original offer is at risk.
That's interesting. It's like your backup offer actually empowers the first offer to get the deal done. And how often do you feel as if that triggers that buyer to start caving?
It depends. A lot of times in the home buying process, the buyers are fatigued. They've maybe submitted multiple offers on multiple houses and not one won the bid. And now all of a sudden they've got one under contract and they're moving along. And the threat of the backup offer is a pretty strong threat, and oftentimes encourages the buyers to make concessions on their inspection objections that they normally would not have made.
So it's usually around that inspection objections then.
That's typically, it could arise with other objections, but the backup offer conversation comes up once the buyer is under contract. That's when it's being used as the leverage point by the listing agent. And that's when it's pressuring the buyer into making decisions that they otherwise probably would not have made.
Gotcha. And so that's why the emotional tank is getting drained. They've actually gone through the entire bidding process already, as we know, could have been this crazy blind bid. They might have felt, oh, why did I win the bid? Now I'm in this, and now I have this backup offer pressure, and I'm just getting tired of us. Okay, let's just get the deal done.
And the reality is this, James, is that this is how the manipulation is occurring. This is, again, pointing back to the problems in the process, is that on this particular instance, one of the things that should be noted is that, let's say that on inspection, you uncover some big issue. Maybe there's mold or there's a foundation problem or something like that. Something that the seller doesn't want to deal with, and something that had not previously been disclosed. So this threat of the backup offer comes in to the existing buyers who have not had this disclosed, but they now have knowledge of it. And all of a sudden, they're at this crossroads. Do I stay with this house and do I buy it knowing about this condition? Or do I back out and let it fall to the backup offer? Okay. The one thing that is the lie in this that the agent's not telling them is the seller and the selling agent are now going to have to disclose this same inspection issue to the backup offer buyer. So it's not as surefire as they're trying to imply that the backup offer is just going to be willing to gloss over it too. It's really a manipulative tactic, in my opinion, to get the current contracted buyer to concede some of their inspection objection items.
Gotcha. Now that this has been brought up, they have to go to that backup offer and they have to tell them these are some of the issues, if it's foundation or mold or whatever it was that was found in those inspections.
Exactly.
So,
and
yeah.
I don't know every state, but in Colorado for sure, once an agent has knowledge of that, by law, the agent has to disclose it, even if the seller doesn't.
All right. Okay, that's number 3, backup offer in hand. So we're going to jump to number 4 next. And number 4, now give us your highest and best. This has got to be a good one.
This is the worst.
Okay. All right. We'll catch that one in the next episode. Thanks for joining us again on the Real Estate Blind Bid Provocateurs. We will catch you later.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Real Estate Blind Bid Provocateurs. If you learned something today and are ready to bring trust, transparency, and fixed cost to residential real estate, then don't be shy about it. Tell your friends, colleagues, and family. Perhaps you know someone who was thinking about buying or selling a home. Do them a favor and hit that share button and text a link to this episode. They'll be sure to thank you. If you prefer to watch your podcast as videos, guess what? We're on YouTube. Find us by searching for True Home Value. And thank you so much for listening. And that is about as much as we can incite in a day. Have a good one.